Whoa.
So I'll have to scoot back a little so you can. Yeah, there we go.
Are we going to be on the frame on all of them? Maybe?
Yeah, that's the game plan.
Impossible? Can it be?
All right, we're going live on all of the devices, on all of the things. Hold on.
4.
There we go. So if I sit like this. Not today. Not today. Oh, hi, YouTube people. Leave your comments. We're going live and we're getting started. Okay, we're live over there in Agree to Disagree group. Type your comments, and Blake will try to read them and get to you. Over here, this is on the New American Media. Type your comments. Also, tap the likes and tap the hearts, the thumbs up and the hearts, so the algorithm shows an interaction with us, so that they know that you dig this as compelling content. Also over here on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/the New American Media, because the old American Media failed us. Go ahead and click subscribe and tap your notifications bell, even though it doesn't mean that you're going to see our stuff ever, because we have been shadow banned and deboosted and demonetized and all of that stuff. But that just means we're close to the target. That just means we're over the target. So I'll take it. So I would say without further delay, with a 3, we're going to start the show. 2, and a 1.
All right. Live. Milky Way galaxy. Planet Earth.
Hold on. Here. Let's try it this way.
Live. Sorry, am I cutting you off? Go ahead. Live from the Milky Way galaxy, planet Earth, Los Angeles.
Okay, hold on. I'll do this.
You do it again.
Right.
Yeah.
I was going to do the ventriloquist. I was going to move my mouth while you're going to do the thing. Okay, you move your mouth while I do the intro. Ready?
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Broadcasting to you live from the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, California, Los Angeles to be specific. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Agree to Disagree here on the newamericanmedia.com at the newamericanmedia.com, because the old American media has failed us. My name's Brian Engelman. Hello, and happy, what day is today? Tuesday?
Monday.
Monday?
Yep.
Where am I?
Happy Monday. I
literally don't even know what day it is. I'm like, it's such a big news day. I went to sleep yesterday. Oh, this is Blake the Eccentric. Blake Wally. You can follow him at Eccentric99 on Twitter. We're getting more active on Twitter. In fact, Blake did a great job editing, posting, typing, tagging, meta tagging, editing, all that stuff, filming an interview that we did this past weekend with Fleckus of Fleckus Talks, Austin Fletcher. He does a lot of great work. He's the guy that does the interviews with the wooden spoon when he's out there doing the man on the street. Funny dude. Ran into him at Politicon. Blake just uploaded that to the YouTube channel, so check that one out. But yeah, we did send that out on our Twitter feed. That's at American_media_. So participate with us, join us in the conversation. We hope to keep it mostly civil most of the time. But yeah, please type your comments in the chat rooms in the 2 Facebook groups. One Facebook group over here is Agree to Disagree. It's a private group. You can join. Go ahead and sign up for it. The Agree to Disagree show. And then this one is our Facebook feed, The New American Media. So, Blake, we were going to do today's show on one topic. And then we're like, all right, how about 2? And we're like, no, how about 3? We're like, no, how about 4? And it's like, all right, dude, we could do a 3-hour show today, it seems like. So we narrowed it down to 4. We're going to try to stick to about 5 tight minutes per subject. You know, maybe we'll go to 10.
Right.
But yeah, it's always a changing landscape.
Right.
And things started happening while we were doing our show preparation today. So I guess let's lead off with the breaking news story. The Billy Joel song should play here, except we don't have the copyright. You know the one?
Ooh.
Coca-Cola Doris Day. Hey, JFK, don't go away. I can't hum too much, or else I'll get this will get removed from.
That was when we were going to talk about too, perhaps. But the copyright stuff that's going to be going in the EU, but we can go into that in depth tomorrow.
Yeah, I think we could. Here, I'm going to
always run to the other room and grab some notes, but it's not that important.
No, we'll do that one a little bit later because there's too much to cover today. Let's start with We Didn't Start the Fire, something that we're all trying to figure out with the fire today.
Yeah.
Let's start with that. That's breaking. That's burning. Yeah.
Yeah. So the infamous Notre Dame Cathedral, France, on fire today, or at least part of it.
Is it infamous or is it? It's not notorious. Legendary.
It's been there for like 1,000 years. Yeah, it's been there for a long time. So it depends on how you feel about it. So it could be famous, infamous. Notorious.
You know, I'm wondering.
Notorious.
Notorious.
Yeah.
Oh crap, we're getting banned again. We can't sing on YouTube or Facebook. So, you know, and now the question is, like, has it been damaged to the point where it has to be leveled, or can this be repaired? You know,
Well, I
don't know.
It looks like it was under control as far as I can see. So maybe they'll have to cut their losses with part of it, and they did some emergency procedures, I guess, to rescue some of the artwork. I can only imagine they've got priceless artifacts in there. But of course, it's been through, you know, with all the hundreds of years of history that it has been there, it's certainly gone through some tough times before. But yeah, I guess this was expected or unexpected. They are doing some major renovations on it. But certainly bad timing, as we have. This is kind of one of the holy weeks of the year for Catholics. We've got Easter coming up this Sunday.
Oh, see, I wonder if they could do that ash thing with the ashes from it.
Did we already have Ash Wednesday?
Yeah, that already happened.
Yeah.
And I think some teacher got in trouble for not letting the kid walk around with the ash on his forehead, just like someone wouldn't let a student wear their burqa or something. You know, just
their MAGA hat.
2019. Yeah, well, and some girl with her MAGA hat, she wasn't allowed to wear it on Patriotic Day. They sent her home. It's just everything's stupid. Everything's awful.
Yep.
I'm gonna try to be positive. Everything's great.
Fantastic.
Everything's awesome.
It's been a wonderful afternoon.
I
know, especially for you.
No, I was making
having delightful conversations with people.
That's a whole other thing. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, do you think they'll save charge stuff and use it for like the Ash Sunday for next year? Is that like holy ash? No, I mean it.
Notre Dame ash.
Will they keep the ash and then use it? I don't know how it works. I'm not Catholic, and I'm not.
I guess they could. Just in France, but then
wondering
maybe.
So what are the who, what, where, when, why? What do we know about it? What are some of the notes you took on?
All right. Well, that was one of the spires.
I saw the pictures. Speaking
of the spire or one of the spires, I've never been there, but collapses after a massive blaze. There was a $6 million renovation, so that could have been part of it. What caused it? I don't know. Some people think there may be some foul play. I don't know if I've seen any yet, but we'll keep an eye on it. The right before, of course, Easter during the Holy Week. The frame, I guess, there's parts of it was built in the 19th century. Some were built in the 13th century.
Jeez.
Yeah. So let's see. They have a special mission to save artwork, and it's one of the most visited buildings in the world. I think there's it's got 13 million visitors a year or something like that. It's quite a bit. My number might be off there, but yes, heavy traffic. It's not the Vatican, but it is probably the most famous cathedral in France and maybe in the rest of Europe outside of the Vatican.
So yeah, I mean, so some of the questions. One, it was a religious location. So was this terrorism? Was this something Islamic, radical Islamic terrorism? They have the renovation going on. Was this, somebody left something plugged in that shouldn't, a space heater that tipped and caught, that was my first two thoughts. My first two questions, saying, okay, well, if they're renovating it, was it something that a construction crew did? It's a religious site. Was this something that a religious hater, was this a hate crime? Something to iconoclast, we had the discussion in our agree to disagree group, and someone's like, aha, so see now you are talking about history and the importance of it regarding racial lines or something, and talking about this. And it's like, no, you look to the past and you look to paintings, you look at architecture, and you study it, you examine it, and then you spend most of your day looking forward, plotting the future, planning for future events in your current life. You don't live in the past. This isn't the 1700s United States. This is something much different in 2019. But, when it comes to destroying things that you disagree with, that's what Antifa does. That's what Black Lives Matter does. That's what ISIS does. ISIS will go to Buddhist temples and destroy monuments and statues and artifacts and icons because they don't like it. They don't respect those people's ability to worship their God in their way. Same with Black Lives Matter, and same with Antifa. They want to tear down statues. Oh, it was a racist, and he said something bad once. John Wayne, got to change the airport. It's like everything has to be pristine, or else it must be destroyed. And it's like, well, I mean, you can look at it because at some point somebody thought this was relevant, worth paying attention to. You don't worship at the altar of a statue. You look at it, and if you want to tell a story, build a plaque. Do an interactive iPod thing where you put in your earbuds and you listen to the story that tells you all the bad. Like you don't destroy artifacts and paintings and architecture. You learn from it. You discuss it. You don't just go around destroying stuff. I don't believe in that at all. So you said they made a strong effort to get the artwork out. What was the latest on that? Because I know a lot of people were just really scared and worried about, are we really going to lose all of the amazing things that were in there? What is the latest? Did you get any updates on that? I don't know. Maybe I'll click on it.
Not necessarily. They just had to put in some emergency procedures to, they have some special team that goes in, and there we go. Cross remains in the ruins. It has a lot of red links on the Drudge Report.
Yeah, this is all red links. Excuse me.
God save Notre Dame.
Yeah, so I'll read you the red links.
Drama.
This is the latest that is being reported. Cross remains in the ruins. That's a cool picture in the sunlight coming through.
9 centuries of history brought crashing down.
The main structure has been saved from total destruction. That's great. Holy Week horror. It was the soul of Paris. The spire has collapsed. Tourists were running for their lives. Bystanders sing Ave Maria. Now remember, okay, here you go. There's a flashback to 2016. ISIS was behind a failed Notre Dame attack. All right, so this is something worth taking note on as we investigate what's happening here. And then there was a car filled with 7 propane tanks. So, it's something worth but I mean, just looking at those pictures, just, to be the Holy Week and to see this happening, that's, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's, terrible timing. But I don't know if anyone has been hurt. So I think there's some, silver lining to this. So, but
I got no idea.
A bad year a bad week for the holiest week of the year, and that's unfortunate.
That is unfortunate, but we'll follow it. It's an interesting development, and that was the breaking thing that we wanted to discuss with you. And right now, I think we can roll into what webpage? By the way, I got people watching on the groups. Tap the likes. Use your fingers. Go. Just tap a whole bunch of likes, and then the hearts, likes and hearts, changing hearts and minds. Likes and hearts, because then the algorithm says that you like our stuff. Hello to Jay, Brandon, Justin, Keith, and everybody. Brandon saying, what web page am I on? We were on just kind of looking at Drudge Report. And when they do the red linked article, that's what.
It's got a lot of stuff on there.
Red links are what? Like super highlighted, super important, super timely. Yeah. So like the whole top of the page, they're all red links. You don't see that very often. And Brandon is saying, dude, I knew it. So I don't know what you're saying I knew. Feel free to elaborate, but these are just questions I would have. Was it something the crew did and screwed up, left plugged in too long, or was this terrorism? I don't know. It's the same thing with any sort of mass shooting or a horrible catastrophic event. There's a 72-hour rule. Nobody knows anything. Like really, let's wait 72 hours before we make definitive statements. That's probably a smart idea. But looking in and questioning the official story is always an important thing to do. Moving on to the next story. That's where we're going to cut it for next time.
Yeah.
Story number 2. Blake?
Story number 2. We're just going to talk about what we did over the weekend.
Yeah, what did we do over the weekend?
Well, we went to the Cerno Film Festival here in Los Angeles to catch a special screening of new mini documentary Blood Money from Mike Cernovich.
Yeah.
He was very gracious and had us as guests.
Yeah, it was neat. We had the chance. Sorry, I got a frog in my throat. We met Mike Cernovich and Stefan Molyneux when they were talking about their movie Hoaxed, pretty much about the fake news media at Politicon. So we did a sit down. You can check the YouTube channel, and we got to make sure when we upload the Fleckus one that we link that back to the Cernovich and to the so they can find it easily accessible there. But we talked with Cernovich then and went to this movie event. And this was what would they call it? A mini documentary, a mini doc. It was about what, 25 minutes long, give or
Yeah, maybe
take?
22 even. Yeah,
22 minutes
it was
long.
short. I didn't know if it was going to be like an hour and a half or what have you. But it was a very well produced documentary.
Mhm.
So it had all the feel of like, oh, this is going to be like a regular full length documentary. But it was probably better in the sense that it was scaled down. It was right to the point. So.
Well, tell them the point. What is the point of the story? What was the crux of the meaning behind Blood Money? What was the story about?
It's about the influence of the country of, however you want to pronounce it, Qatar or Qatar. I think it is Qatar. But yeah, they've got a lot of oil money. So does Saudi Arabia. So does the United Arab Emirates. And they have a lot of influence. They do fund a lot of programs and such. Influencing our media, our culture, movies, any number of different things. And we don't know, especially, and with DC, we don't know who all the different politicians, especially, I guess, the never Trump crowd, kind of the neocons, getting paid to, have a certain perception on things. So it's disturbing, and it's something that deserves to be exposed, so we know who we can trust in Washington and what's going on, who's funding who.
And I think the answer to who we can trust is nobody. To paraphrase something Mike said on stage, they did a Q&A, with the team that put it together, including people doing the score, the directors, all that stuff. And one of the things, to paraphrase Mike, I believe he said something along the lines of, I don't trust anything anymore. I don't believe anything I see. And he's like, I don't know. I don't know what's true. I don't know what to believe. And that's kind of the smartest thing. When I was a young kid, when I was a teenager, I used to know everything. And then I got smart enough to realize I don't know anything. I got hunches. My spidey senses can, usually point out bullshit. I can, I have a natural sales element in me. I'm a people person, a talker. I've been a bartender, a server. I like engaging people. And I can usually spot when something's off or somebody's pitching me stuff and trying to, so my BS detector is usually pretty strong, but I don't know what to believe anymore. I don't know what's true. And this movie is about lobbying, and it's about, essentially what you're seeing on the cable news networks, because you have these former contractors, these former Defense Department people, former State Department people linked up with various governments who are on the cable media circuit going around and offering opinions, but these are actors. These are lobbyists. These are people pushing an agenda. They're trying to sell you something. They're salespeople. They're trying to sell you what their client wants. And in this case, it's Qatar. That's the client. And they talked about how we might be able to dig in deeper with FIFA. FIFA is going to be going there with the World Cup, and just trying to follow the money and try. One of the questions I asked, and that might be something we could put. I don't know how it came out. I'll have to see the video. But I asked a question like in 2019. Now that people are really looking at the media, saying, "Well, it's all fake news. It's all propagandists. All of them." So just where's the truth within all this BS? How much is this really moving the needle with, the voters? How much are people buying into the BS that's being sold to them? And Mike, kind of said, well, who's they? And, kind of went off on that aspect of it. But he thinks that it is making a big impact. And maybe it is. And that's the question. This was held at the Raleigh Theaters, which was pretty cool because I was on a game show years ago at Raleigh Theaters. So it was fun to go back. It was great being there. Got to meet up with Fleckus, Austin Fletcher, which was really cool. Did an interview that's on the YouTube channel. Check it out. Fleckus talks Blood Money because he had already seen it in a pre-release. Ran into Leanne McAdoo of InfoWars, formerly of InfoWars. That was great. We ran into her. Blake and I did it 2016 in Cleveland for the Republican National Convention. That was great. So it was a nice reminder that even in Los Angeles, you got Cernovich, you got McAdoo, you got Fleckus, you got other people like us. And it's not fitting the mold of what you think the typical Los Angelino is. These are people that are trying to peel back layers of the onion, peel back the curtain and see, who is the man behind the curtain? What's really going on here? What's happening? And so I think people that are putting together movies like Mike Cernovich, like Hoaxed and like Blood Money, it's important. But, aside from Qatar, it's not limited to Qatar. This is happening everywhere.
Yeah, it could be Saudi Arabia, it could be Israel, it could
Israel.
be big pharma, it could be big corporations.
I mean, it's absolutely
big oil, yeah.
every group. Every group is trying to get their sway. Trust me, Silicon Valley and Zuckerberg and what's the lady's name that runs YouTube?
I don't know.
Dude,
Yeah.
I think Christine Blasey Ford. That's not accurate. Anyway, I know Crowder makes fun of her all the time in his intros. But anyway, you know that Silicon Valley is lobbying Washington. You know that they're going through the bread and circuses, giving the parade, the perp walk, the show, the congressional hearing, and a bunch of hemming and hawing. And I really liked how who was it? The documentarian that did Super Size Me. What was that guy's name?
Morgan Spurlock.
Was he the one that proposed putting the idea? Wasn't the cover of it like a NASCAR outfit for politicians to wear with all the logos of the sponsors? I think it's been done by several people. That might be the case, but we need to be savvy consumers of content, and we have to understand that there's a lot of people who are being bought and paid for that are pushing an agenda. Like, that's why they seem irrational. That's why they're not reacting to new information. That's why they're not fluid on their position, not your gender, fluid on the position if new evidence comes to light, and they're just rigid and nope, Trump must have, nope, they rigged the polls, nope, the voting machines were controlled by Russian. It was the Russian dolls. You opened up the Russian egg, and then the egg, and that one was controlling all the voting machines, and they all voted Hillary. But it's like, huh? But I don't even know. Like, off the rails with no evidence for 3 years. We're believing propaganda. It never happened. It was all something that, the Russian collusion delusion was something that the mainstream dinosaur media set up with Hillary Clinton, and they ran with it for 3 freaking years. So people like Blake and I, we didn't believe that story for 1 second. But I guess there are people out there that were watching MSNBC because they just don't like Orange Man bad, Cheeto Man bad. He said grab him by the, wow. He's been divorced and he's a slime ball. Okay. Policy is the what? And did he, Clinton was doing his stuff in office that got him impeached, lying about it under oath, all that stuff. And I don't know. I feel like spending all of our resources and time fighting each other is not productive. We should be wearing the same jersey. We should be wearing the same NASCAR outfit, the same jersey with the same logos, the same sponsors. This is America. If you're here, we should be on the same team. And we just have to be savvy consumers of content to try to figure out with our BS detector, when are we being lobbied versus when are we taking in accurate information and news?
Mike Cernovich is even saying, like, it's going to be a battle of, like, billionaires here that control the news versus, overseas, like, oil tycoons or what have you, or whatever the heck Qatar or the United Arab Emirates are. Are they real countries, or are they just like glorified corporations? And they're controlling the media that we get.
So
that's pretty scary.
So, we would recommend that you check it out. Check out both Hoaxed and check out Blood Money.
Yeah, it's real journalism, which is refreshing. You don't see a lot of that. There's really it's tough to pull off. Mike's on a short list of real journalists out there that I respect, and doing the right thing. So kudos.
Yeah, so check it out. Definitely check it out. Mike Cernovich. It's all over the place. I know. I felt like. Do we have any more notes on that we wanted to get into? But I was just going to say that I felt like by the time the movie was over, I was looking for the next chapter. I'm like, okay, where's it going next? And it was like, all right, there you go. That's our short doc.
Short and sweet.
And get in, get out, bang. Like here's a story, go for it. I'll take that.
That's what it should be. That's why it's easy to.
I was surprised that it was over that quick, but it left an impression. And Amber Lyon, remember you
remember the points. I downloaded the clip because you interviewed her several years ago.
And who is Amber Lyon for the people?
She was also she was a real journalist on CNN, so they had to get rid of her. No, I think she left herself. You can't do investigative journalism anymore on these networks. Cheryl Atkinson is another one. There's not. They're a dying breed. But she saw some things. I think it was in Bahrain, and they were being misreported, and she didn't want to be a part of that. And good on her, because somebody like. Well, we won't name names, but all the people on CNN, they do what they're told. MSNBC, they're not going to question their narratives. They get their talking points and they get their big paychecks to.
What did you know and when did you know, Blake? Name names. Name names.
Right. No, but it's hypothetical. But anyway, yeah.
But it's a trend, is what I'm saying. With the point of that is with Amber Lyon, she talked about it was like a tourism board trying to get you to do these stories that are like, where is this coming from and why is it? It's a tourism board. It's a lobbying firm. It's like, hey, we need to get some stuff out there, get ahead of the curve, and sway propaganda. Like, you just got to understand what you're watching. It's a program. You're being programmed. Be discerning. If anything I'm telling you, anything this guy's telling you doesn't pass the sniff test, dude, do your own research. Never believe a single word we say. Ever. Do your own research. And if you think that something we're doing is coming from a place of either misinformation or malevolence, type it in the comments.
Could be a mistake.
We make mistakes.
Maybe I'm right 85% of the time. But,
yeah,
10% of the time I'm off on something. Always, just go with your gut or whatever and double check stuff and see where the truth is. We all
I think it's
together, I guess.
If we're the independent media and the truth tellers need to stick together a little bit, and I think the difference would be is anybody can make a mistake. Anybody can go a little too far sometimes. I mean, come on. If people are looking for perfection, or else they have to be run out of their jobs and they have to, just be tarred and feathered in the public square. Like, enough of that stuff, guys. Like we did the Salem witch trial stuff. Like, enough. Stop this crap. Nobody's going to be perfect, but I think where you run into it is, and I think I've said this stuff to Ben Swan. I've said it to a lot of these people. It takes a lifetime to build trust. It takes an entire career. And at this point, the New American Media has been doing this for 8 years. Blake's been doing his stuff for just as long. A lot of people out there have a long track record of covering stories. We can get things wrong, but if we're intentionally trying to steer you away from the truth, like Rachel Maddow, we can name names all day with these clowns. If you're intentionally being fed incorrect information for malevolent purpose, you can lose your reputation in a heartbeat. One story, you get bought off once, it's time to go. So, that's all we have. The biggest currency that we have in 2019 is our reputation. So we're going to try to stick to that, trying to keep that here at the New American Media. Some comments real quick. Keith is saying, are you going to get out of California when Trump sends in the illegals? Ooh, you know what? I'd like to see that's a good question, by the way. Thank you, Keith. I would like to see a parody song of that instead of like Send in the Clowns. Send in the dreamers.
Yeah.
Send in the illegals. Send them by the boatful in the boat.
We are
illegals. Send in the undocumented migrants. That'd be awesome. But yeah, by the way, why are we not covering this story? Can we do it on Trump's stat? I think it's fantastic. Should we do that right now?
Yeah.
Well, it's calling an audible. We don't have to. But I think it's a brilliant
it's a huge story,
proposal. Okay, we'll circle back to it real quick. Brandon's also asking how many people have stopped watching the media and turned to these types of sources. Blake, what are your thoughts? How many people do you think have stopped watching the dinosaur media and started switching over to Cernovich, to ourselves, to
they've taken
InfoWars,
huge losses
Blaze,
over the number of years compared to what they were 10, 15 years ago. But certainly with all the Russian hysteria falling apart, then the MSNBC and CNN's numbers are down quite a bit. You've seen a lot of these newspapers. You've seen a lot of the smaller ones out. And a lot of the bigger ones are really struggling. New York Times or what have you. Even at the Washington Post, because they got Bezos in there. But it's a changing landscape, and I guess Brian and I are pioneers and trailblazers trying to do the new American media.
Because the old American media has failed us.
Exactly.
TNAM, because the news always matters. Okay, so we're going to call an audible. Keith is also saying the global warming alarmists need to do some research too. Yeah, absolutely. It's every angle. It's all sorts of silly, all that sort of stuff. All right, wrapping up story number 2. We're going to go to story number 3 now. Pause for dramatic effect in post-production. Story number
Absolutely.
3. Trump again says that illegal immigrants will be given to sanctuary cities and states. President Trump on Monday announced illegal immigrants will be given to sanctuary cities and states pending official decisions from the Department of Homeland Security. Quote, those illegal immigrants who can no longer be legally held, Congress must fix the laws and loopholes, will be subject to Homeland Security, given to sanctuary cities and states, Trump tweeted with an exclamation mark on Monday. The president's announcement comes after reports revealed last week that the administration had floated releasing detained immigrants into sanctuary cities twice over the last 6 months. Last week, Trump all but confirmed the reports and stated that the administration was still giving strong considerations to the measure. His Monday tweet seemingly signaled the administration would adopt the policy. Blake, we have a troll in chief. How awesome is this?
Awesome. Super awesome.
Quantified better than super awesome. Elaborate. Go.
I think this could be the best thing that's happened to politics in our lifetime. How's that? I mean, what else would be better? I don't know. Kennedy was cool, but that was
nothing like this. Nothing like this. Right. This is. I heard somebody. I would credit you if I could remember who said it. I don't remember. I just heard it and I thought it was funny. Oh shit! Now I don't even remember what I heard. It was the horse. I think they said Trump is a horse in the movie theater. You got this big freaking thing, clickety bull in the china shop. Yeah, they updated it as like a horse in a movie theater, just clippity clopping and stomping and thrashing and just mayhem, chaos, blow it all up. Just let it rip. It's a brilliant move. And this is what Keith is saying. It's a brilliant move by Trump to expose what the elites really think of the illegals. Just turn the argument around. I like to, when people bring up, oh, racist. All right. Is there anything more played out than tossing that word out there? It's been used so many times that it's lost its meaning. I think we can all look to the 60s and back to, the 16, 17, 1800s and see plenty of real examples. But now it's like microaggression levels where you said something that tweaked somebody's conscience some way. It's like, all right, that's not really a thing. But yeah, the way that Trump does this and turns it around, that's what I always do with race issues. I go, okay, if you're saying something somebody said is wrong, let me reverse the races and see if that sounds wrong. So like Ilhan Omar, for example. God, this is another story. We could do 2 hours on this stuff if we wanted to. We're not going to. No. We're going to stay focused. But like Ilhan Omar, she's complaining like Donald Trump. I gotta learn how to do an impression of her. She talks really weird and she like growls certain words. She's funny. I will be able to do a good Ilhan Omar. I'll just have to listen a few times and I'll do it. But anyway, right. I've been thinking about practicing it. And she makes me laugh every time they keep playing that quote. But she's like, Donald Trump is tweeting things and I'm getting harassed and like the response that's going around social media. It's like, oh come on, those are just some words somebody said. Because that's what she's flippantly, like, my professor bristles up when he talks about Al Qaeda, like they're and like, oh, 9/11, that's just some stuff that people did. Some people did some stuff. It's like, no. No, there's an underlying ideology. There's a toxin behind something that's poisoning millions of people. And this is like a final example of seeing it. This isn't just something some people did. This is something that's symptomatic of a cancer, of something really bad behind the scenes that's infecting a lot of people. So let's take it back, peel it back, and see if we can remove and eradicate the problem. Actually, that's something that the Cernovich movie got into, was when Donald Trump went to the Middle Eastern countries, he was talking to all of these Arab states saying, you need to root out, to rat out, to rip out, 3 words in my head at the same time. You need to eradicate the radical fringe violent elements in your countries. You have to get them out of there. And that could have been elaborated more in the movie, but it was a good point, because who else would have had the cojones to go in and do that and tell these people, you got to clean up your own backyard. You got problems. You got bad people, bad actors at your mosques, at your places of worship that are turning creatures out on the world to cause damage and chaos. It wasn't just some people that did something. So obviously with Ilhan Omar, the response to her saying, well, I'm getting threats now, which haven't been verified to my knowledge. It's just a slapback approach. for her to defend herself against the president. But yeah, they're just some words that were said, you know. So let's spin it around. There's nothing there. What was the point I was making here? Because now I got off on Ilhan Omar, but we were going to say that we were going to talk about, what was the other story?
I don't remember, Brian. You have the you got the
man. You guys watching, you probably know where I was going. The troll in chief. I forget the point I was making. Whatever. We're trying to keep these to 5-minute segments. We're failing miserably because we're not used to this. But this is us trying to hone our craft to kind of split this in post-production and give you bite-sized pieces. We're ideally thinking 5 minutes, 5 bullet points. We're calling it 5 minutes, 5 bullets. Who, what, where, when, why. What's going on? Bang, 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 bang. Next. But it's a work in progress. We're learning. We're trying. Keith is saying that Obama flooded the district in Minneapolis with Somali refugees in order to get a Muslim elected, and that being Ilhan Omar. Oh, and there's that other horrible story in your backyard. That guy threw that kid off the. Did that kid die?
Unknown. I haven't followed up on it, but I did hear about it right away, and I wasn't sure. I think there were rumors that it might have been from a Somali immigrant, but I don't know if that was the case or not, because some people were saying, "Oh, that's why they won't report it because it was a Somali and did it." But I guess we can follow it up here and see what we can find. But yeah, tragedy. It's been kind of a weird experiment. I wouldn't say it's been so successful yet. I don't know if it will be. Is to put little Mogadishu in Minneapolis.
Yeah, well, that's
Cloud.
How do you fundamentally transform the United States?
Cultures.
Yeah, I mean,
in a big melting pot. Yeah,
it's not so much caring about who people are, where they come from. It's about what do they have in their heart? What do they have in their heads? Like, are people coming here to join the team, or are you coming here to fundamentally transform the United States of America, as candidate Barack Obama once famously said? Do you love what we are and you love the ideal of equality, or do you hate everything about us and want to destroy us from the inside? Are you helping or hurting? And I just, once again, with the Ilhan Omar, and let's switch it to this Minneapolis attack. Did the kid die or not? Now I gotta report this correctly. But if we reversed it, if there was a 35-year-old white guy that threw a 5-year-old Somali out just unprovoked, like I mean, what could be a possible rationale that I'm unaware of? I mean, would Spike Lee be tweeting out the address of this place? Would LeBron James be standing up on stage talking about this and raising a Black Power fist at the ESPY Awards or something? Would CNN be just salivating and frothing all over themselves, creaming in all those places you could imagine, just trying to paint white America as evil, despite the fact that we're not? It's just that hate sells and division sells, and race hustlers have made a great living doing this stuff for a long time. And we're going to get to that in a minute, because we're going to talk about Tiger Woods. We're going to talk about Odell Beckham sent an Instagram post about Colin Kaepernick. But what is the latest on this to the kid?
Okay, so he's 24-year-old man. So a boy was thrown nearly 40 feet from Mall of America balcony.
Awful.
He's a strong survivor. So this 24-year-old man is being held on suspicion. What happened? Let's back up. Okay, get something. Okay, man is being held on suspicion of attempted murder after police said he threw a 5-year-old boy over the railing of a Mall of America balcony. That is terrifying. Mall of America is 4 floors, 3 in most of it. There's a movie theater, but side issue. It's a gigantic mall, and you can only imagine somebody being like thrown over the edge. Bloomington, where South Minneapolis is where this is at. Police Chief Jeffrey Potts said he doesn't believe the suspect, Emmanuel Deshawn Aranda.
And by the way, I heard that's not his real name. I have to do some more research, but I heard a different name is being reported than his actual name. Not sure, but something else to look into, improve or disprove.
Yes, but anyway, he doesn't believe that he knew the boy. I said the motive for the attack was under investigation. Potts described the scene as gut-wrenching. The boy did survive the fall, but police didn't comment on his condition because the boy's family requested privacy. There is a GoFundMe page set up, and it's already raised $500,000 for the family. That's awesome. So they said the family is not making statements, but is very thankful for the prayers and support. And an update Sunday, they said the boy who enjoys playing soccer and hockey is continuing to fight his courageous battle and is a strong survivor. He is the sweetest, kindest 5-year-old you will ever meet. So this guy, this 24-year-old suspect, had already been banned from the mall, but the ban was not in effect at the time of the incident. He has a history of misdemeanor convictions. Some cases were handled through a mental health court. He was arrested at the mall in 2015 and faced 3 charges after he threw an object off the mall's 3rd level and became uncooperative with police.
And Keith is saying that the guy, is it confirmed that this guy lives in Ilhan Omar's district?
That could be, if this is where, yeah, I mean, I don't know, but I'd say it's very possible.
I mean,
If this guy is
that is your backyard, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that would make sense. I don't know enough about all the districts, but
and if you're interested in helping out, they're up to $634,000 now.
Wow.
Raised by 18,467 people in just 2 days. That's not enough, man. Like this whole, like, help this family. This is just awful. Any 5-year-old gets like, it's just awful. It's awful beyond words. What was it, 40 feet? Allegedly 40 feet of a fall. That's the estimation there, and not a lot of people that happens to survive. So I don't know if this going to be
some innocent little 5-year-old. You're just gonna. I can't understand
just awful.
The mentality of someone
it's awful.
To do that.
And the optics of this could not be any worse. If you want to try to race bait and go down that route, anytime something happens to someone who's fighting cops and gets shot and killed, it's like, oh yeah, we got to march and burn our cities. But you have this story, who's marching and burning cities because of that. This doesn't look good at all. Dumb people do dumb things. Accidents happen. Doesn't mean that the world is one particular way. So it's just a lot of intersecting things with Ilhan Omar and the president and illegals and the Mall of America, then this attack. It's all just, there's a lot of strange overlap on these stories. So they're all connected and they're all independently, on their own for what they're worth. It's relevant because, like I said, just put the shoe on the other foot and tell me if this would be a 24/7 wall-to-wall, just liberal guilt fest trying to make white America feel bad for existing. If a 24-year-old white guy from, I guess not Somalia, let's say a 24-year-old white guy from Sweden came into Chicago and just grabbed a little 5-year-old black baby and threw him 40 yards off.
I mean, this would be just as horrible if it was Scandinavian, stereotypical Minnesotan, throwing a Somalian off.
Or New Zealand or South American or South African or something like that.
You just don't do that. Or this guy's mentally ill. He might have to be put to sleep.
I think you got to put people down, man. I think when someone's that damaged, when you're damaged and broken, hey, I'm not all for. I love how they call abortion once it's been born. Like, that's a murder. That's not a abortion. What the Democrats are cheering, but you just have to call it for what it is.
Send them back to Somalia, but then it wouldn't be worth the money.
Just some people need to be erased. You get serial killers. You get people that exactly what happened, and what's that scene Ving Rhames says in Pulp Fiction? He goes, "You lost your LA privileges." And it's like you've lost your Earth privileges, son. You don't go throwing 5-year-old boys off of stuff. I think rapists, pedophiles, severely mentally ill, criminally violent people need to be removed from society permanently. Whatever that looks like.
Throw them off the eye front eye. Throw them off the balcony, or do we?
Hey man,
what do we do? I don't know.
I got no love for monsters. I'm here to fight evil. If there's a maker and I have the chance to meet that maker when this experience is completed, I want to just say that I tried. I had the thought that evil was something I wanted to oppose, and that's all I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to call attention to stuff like that. So anyway, that's the story. We're going to keep an update. I'm glad because when this first happened, I thought the story was that he was dead. Hopefully he's not going to be disabled mentally for the rest of his life.
Many surgeries ahead.
Of course. So donate to this family,
as
please.
As a 5-year-old, he's got a chance to heal. Yeah, I don't know.
maybe this is the next superhero movie. You know,
That'd be cool.
you know, this thing happened as a 5-year-old and cut to high school, and you know, you're Mall Boy, and maybe it could be Kevin Smith, starring Kevin Smith. It'd be like Mallrats, except this is Mall Boy. You know, it's like Mallrats Part 3. This is Mall Boy takes over. Mall Boy seeks revenge. It would be like
seeks for
oh no, I got it. This would be MAUL. It would be Mall Boy. So he'd go out and fight evil as Mall Boy. No, I'm sorry. I'm just, my brain's going. I'm not mocking the kid or the situation, obviously. It's just, you know, thinking of a superhero movie.
It's clever wordplay, Brian.
And that was off the cuff, by the way. I'll just
well done.
donate on Patreon.
That was not scripted, Brian.
Do a super chat. Yeah, give us a little something. Anyway, so that's that story. We're going to move along to the next story. Oh, wait. Comments. Multiculturalism has failed. Guy lives in Omar's district. Heard he was still in critical condition.
That is Somalia is a very different culture. And putting that into Scandinavian Minnesota, it just makes no sense.
I don't understand why.
They're nice people. Is it going to take a long time to integrate? And it might never. I don't know.
I mean, we should want people here that are going to want to be free, and
I don't know why we couldn't build build their own country, maybe take I don't know. It's a tough experiment. It's already done, and now we just have to find a way to coexist and get along, and hopefully this won't see much more of these kind of horrible stories anymore.
Well, we'll go on GoFundMe, $634,000. They're gonna, just help this family out, help this community out. It's just awful. All right, moving on to the next story. This is story number, where are we at? 4?
Could be.
Story number 4. Or story number 5. I don't remember. Pick the one that works best. Next story. This is. I just wanted to talk about this. Wait, did we already cover the Trump immigration thing?
We touched on it. Yeah, he was.
Did we do a whole segment
about putting?
I guess we did. That whole segment didn't really wrap up. So maybe this segment goes there, because I just. Where does this go in post production? Do we add this to
it's going to be
segment?
A huge mess. Yeah, it's supposed to be easy, but hey, this is free.
Okay, so this is in post production. Blake.
Yeah.
Right here, this screen, because you're looking at yourself. This is the part. Write down 46 minutes. A 46-minute timestamp.
Brian. Yeah,
there you go. At the 46-minute timestamp, we're going to add this to the end of the Trump illegal immigration thing, because we went off on the Ilhan Omar and then we went to that story. We're coming back. Cher tweeted something else out here in response to the president. And this is so telling, because people like Cory Booker said that Trump's idea is dangerous and it would make the areas less safe. It's like, oh, you said it. You said it. Of course it's going to destabilize. Of course it's an awful idea. The NIMBY, not in my backyard. Of course. That's why Trump is the troll in chief. He puts it out there and he took the bait. It's beautiful. Share, like hardcore lefty share. Cher says, she tweeted yesterday, 21 hours ago. And the president's response.
That looks great, I gotta say.
She does. Her and the Vietnam.
Jane Fonda?
Yeah, the Vietnam vet, Jane Fonda. She's like 88 years old, and it's like.
Still look like they're 45. Right?
Yeah, well, who knows what they're doing. Anyway, so Cher said via Twitter, I understand helping struggling immigrants, but my city, Los Angeles, isn't taking care of its own. What about the 50,000 plus United States citizens who live on the streets, people who live below the poverty line and hungry? If my state can't take care of its own, many who are vets, how can it take care of more? Blake, you clapping?
Okay.
Bravo. Bravo. Cher. Donald Trump replies, I finally agree with Cher. So funny.
Good for her. Because, yeah, he called it out, and it's going to be an interesting showdown with some of these sanctuary cities and states. Because it's, good, because they want to ignore that there's a major crisis going on the border. And so Trump has just said, well, hey, well, then you can have, if you're not going to ignore it and you're not going to help, we're not going to do anything about it, then we'll just send them over to your districts. And some of them are like, okay, yeah, go ahead. So they're trying to call the bluff, and then Cher's going, hey, and there are a lot of these sanctuary places. Yeah, we have a massive homeless problem. and so many places.
Well,
Not
Los
just LA.
Angeles' homeless
He's one
problem.
of the biggest, yeah, with like almost 50,000.
It's second only to New York City, according to the Department of Housing and Urban Development. And this is something.
It's not more. I'd rather be. If you're gonna be homeless, you'd rather be homeless in LA than New York, right?
Yeah, South Park did a big thing about that.
Yeah.
In the city Santa Monica, everybody super cool to the homeless. Like they turned it into like an advertisement to get all the homeless to wander like zombies from South Park, Colorado, over to California, so they could settle in Venice and Santa Monica because the wet. Everybody is super cool to the homeless. But yeah, that is exactly what the situation is. But this is not a new problem. I took the steps at Los Angeles City Hall with Dean Ryan, with Adam Kokesh a couple of years ago, and we were talking about, and Elvis Summers, who was building tiny homes for the homeless, talking about things that can be done for the homeless population, especially in Los Angeles. And Elvis Summers, he's building tiny homes for the homeless. They're about the size of a car. For a couple $1,000, you can you get this kind of mobile little place where you have a locking door. It looks like a house, and you can stay there. You can be safe inside, get you off the streets, up off the ground, away from the rain and the bugs. It's brilliant idea. And my proposal was to take the Los Angeles VA, which is over by UCLA, and totally mismanaged. They've taken land that was donated to house veterans, and they've had baseball facilities built there and dry cleaners built there. That land is specifically for veterans, for helping veterans, and it's been mismanaged. And my point was, since we have perfect weather here 10 out of the 12 months, let's build a whole fleet of these tiny homes for the homeless. Give them a quarter of an acre, and let's build a tiny homes village for some of our homeless. We got our vets living on the streets. Bring them over here. At least they need to have a proper place to live. Fine. And this will be transitional housing for that next step. Until you get them off the streets. Build a common area for like shower, for restroom facilities, for meal preparedness and meal distribution, and give people, a little home, a little place to go in and close and lock your door, have a security patrol there, have some of the veterans that are not too mentally damaged, working a job, providing security, keeping it safe, keeping it on lockdown, making sure it doesn't get out of hand and that they're getting the mental health that they need. But that was my proposal, was to do that. You have the land here right in the middle of Los Angeles, earmarked for helping veterans. Do it. You could give this guy Elvis $1 million divided by $5,000 a place. You could have a whole acre of these, build an entire village of transitional housing until you can get better housing the next step. I don't know. It was my idea. Because you can't just have people sleeping on the streets. You can't just have people sleeping on the sidewalks and in the you just can't. You can't have this under bridges, tent cities. Like, this is just you can't have this. We've seen communities infested.
This has become normalized.
And there's outbreaks. Everywhere. There's outbreaks of medical outbreaks of disease running rampant. And then, of course, you get the crime and just a whole bunch of problems. We've seen it firsthand. So I've
seen a lot of stuff. I've been around the United States a lot the last few years, and yeah, I've seen some. One of the worst I've seen was in San Francisco. Yeah, LA's bad. Vegas, I was there a long time. 10 cities. That's really bad there too. But even just pulling off to you get up the freeway to get fuel somewhere and on road trips, and whether it's Iowa or Ohio or what have you, and you're like, wow, there's like homeless people every time you stop, and I got somebody holding a sign. This is not right, and we've accepted this as just like, oh, okay, well, this is just the way things are. We don't think anything of it, but hopefully someday in the future they will be appalled that we ever let this get out of control like we have, and we'll all be better off. And it'd be nice if we could put these immigrants, give them a place. But if we can't take care of our own, how are we supposed to take all these extra people and pretend there's no crisis on the border?
Thank you. Let's address the crisis at home with our own homeless. Let's address the crisis at the border. People trying to sneak in the back door. There's a front door. Go wait in line. I don't want to hear it. Go wait in line. Everybody's waiting in line. Show your ID. Pay your cover charge. Walk in the front door. Don't sneak in my back door. You just got to have a bouncer at your nightclub. If you got to show your ID to grab a drink or go buy a 6-pack at 7-Eleven, you should show it. Do it the right way. Go through the front door. Every country's got problems. Everybody's going to have people wanting to get here. That's fine. do it the right way. Don't do it this way. Okay, Blake, so make a note here of 54 minutes. That's where we'll cut this segment. And then we'll circle back to the next topic. This is story number 5.
All right, Brian, you want to let's hand it over to you because I know this is more near and dear and bordering the unhappy hour material. We'll get into the sports.
I didn't know his name was Taunt. Eldrick Taunt. Tiger Woods Taunt?
What?
That's his nickname? Eldrick Taunt? That's what it's saying here. Eldrick Taunt.
His name is Eldrick?
Yeah, it's Eldrick, yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah, this guy that won $1.2 million betting on
Eldrick
Tiger
and
Woods.
Ellen. That was his wife. Okay. Former ex-wife.
Eileen.
Eileen.
Eileen? I don't even
Eileen and
know.
Eldrick. It's adorable. Well, was. Oh, they did South Park on that, too.
Which one?
It's like a video game where she goes after him at the golf club when he was in the SUV.
Oh, yeah, of course. Well, see, and this is... Okay, so this is a chance to talk about a sports-related story. I do a show called The Unhappy Hour Sports Show, a support group. Indians, Cavs, Browns, Buckeyes-centric. And, of course, Blue Jackets-centric. We're up 3-0 on the 62-win Tampa Bay Lightning in the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. First chance to get out of the first round. And we're up 3-0. One more win, and we got this. That's pretty cool.
That's impressive, Brian. I don't really follow hockey, but I did notice that the Tampa Bay Lightning were the overwhelming favorites to win the Stanley Cup, and it's the first round of the playoffs, and they're playing the 8-seed Columbus Blue Jackets, right? Or is it do they play in the divisions and they're playing the 4-seed? Either way, there's a big upset brewing, and now Tampa Bay up against the wall has to win 4 straight games because even the first round of the playoffs has 7 games.
Go figure. Well, you know, I do this sports show, and I love talking about sports stories, and this one's a cool one. You know, there's a couple takeaways. 43-year-old Tiger Woods kind of beat all odds against all odds. He became the second oldest winner of the Masters. In 1986, Jack Nicklaus won the Masters for a 6th time when he was 46 years old. And it was really cool because, you know, and I think it's cool because Tiger Woods, he lost his mojo. Tiger Woods was busted. You know, he had his personal issues made public. And, you know, there's a lot of people that go through personal things. And not everything needs to be public. But when you're a public figure, those things go public. And that's just kind of how it goes. And so Tiger, for a while there in the 90s and the 2000s, you know, when Tiger came on this, when did Tiger start? I don't have it in front. Maybe it's on the other page. Who cares? When Tiger burst on the scene,
90s, yeah.
It was, I'm trying to remember what year exactly. Maybe you could look that up while I'm bloviating here.
Did you have your Wikipedia?
Yeah, but I got to, I don't know. It's different. I got to set up my
Sure.
Because I'm doing a lowrider. I'm leaning back, so it's hard to type into this, but I'll figure this out. When Tiger burst on the scene and when he was just destroying people, mopping the floor, it was like Tiger's never going to lose. He's always going to win, you know, kind of like Jordan in his prime, LeBron in his prime, the Warriors in their prime. You know, like maybe Tom Brady now. It's like nothing's going to beat these guys. The Patriots, nothing's going to take them down. And it was almost like it all unraveled when, you know, it came out that Tiger was being unfaithful to his wife. He was partying with all sorts of women and doing all sorts of things.
Turned pro in 1996, the age of 20.
All right, good. So 1996, 06, 16, so that's 23 years ago.
He won the Masters in 1997. Is that correct? Wow.
Yeah, and
12 strokes. He just crushed them.
He was crushing everybody, and for pretty much the past 10 years,
barely old enough to drink.
Past 10 years, he's been a train wreck. You know, he lost his mojo when it was outed that he wasn't, because he was the perfect Nike spokesperson. He was just great smile, multiracial. Remember that awesome Dave Chappelle skit with the race draft?
Right.
And it was like they're trying to figure out who wants Tiger Woods. The Asian community would like to select Tiger Eldrick Woods. Or like the black community, you know, and it's like they're fighting over who. Well, you're mixed race. We want you on our team. Nope, you need to stay away from our team. We want nothing to do with you. That was an awesome skit. But it just dawned on me with all this stuff, you know, with the Somali kid getting, or the kid getting thrown by the Somali and Mall of America. Well, he was Somali, right?
I believe so.
You know, by the man at the mall, regardless. You know, and just 3 years of the media just calling Trump all sorts of names that are just unwarranted and ridiculous, and all this racial stuff. It just dawned on me. I'm like, okay. And I heard announcers and commentators, people commenting about this sports story, like, you've never seen a scene. Maybe that's poor wordplay or awesome wordplay. Is that poor or awesome? Two different uses of the same word back to back. You've never seen a scene quite like this. Okay, so that's a thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Not a screw up. Okay. So you've never seen something quite like this. The people were chanting, Tiger, 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 and they were actively rooting against his competitors, you know, to hit it off the tee into the water, to have bad shots, bad putts. It was almost like the crowd was willing this to happen. Tiger's been on such a rough stretch with all the back injuries, the back surgeries, changing his swing, the divorce, all the public stuff, the arrests, the Ambien and the pills and the alcohol and just the mug shots. You know, one of the funniest memes, it's been made at least 2 ways. One shows Cleveland Browns 2017, Cleveland Browns 2019, and it's a picture of Tiger Woods like a mug shot, all wasted, and then the other one is 2019, winning the Masters, wearing the green jacket. The other one was Tiger in Obama's America, and then Tiger in Trump's America. So you know, that's kind of cool, but it dawned on me that in this era where CNN and all these idiots want to just try to convince, people, maybe well-meaning people, that this is an evil world and everywhere you look it's racist and awful and rigged against you. This is a great place. This is a great world. This is an amazing place, and all of these white. By the way, you don't get any more super white than the golf audience at a place called, what's it called, Blake? What's the tournament called? The Masters. You want to talk about a microaggression? The Masters, the slaves in the Masters. I've heard college professors saying you shouldn't even have a master bedroom anymore because it's racist. It's a microaggression. How dare the place is called the Masters. It's a 95% all white peanut gallery of super rich people. You don't just accidentally get tickets to the Masters. You don't just stroll in off the street. Super rich white people amped out of their minds for a half black, half Asian dude to win the Masters. That is Trump's America. That's Kanye West and Kim Kardashian in the White House helping free somebody from a nonviolent crime, first offending crime, serving a 20-year sentence, and him exonerating her, signing a pardon. That's Trump's America. I don't think Trump wants to divide people at all. All this nonsense over wanting a wall. It's like, dude, you just got to check the IDs of the people coming in. You got to know who's coming into your house. Cher's calling people out. We got our own problems to deal with. We don't need any more of the world's problems. We don't need to be Team America World Police. We got to take care of our own problems. So it was a great moment at a place called the Masters where all of these white people are just cheering Tiger Woods. What were your thoughts? I mean, did you care about Tiger growing up? Did you golf a lot? Did you like the story, how it unfolded? Do you not care either way?
I've never really been a big golf guy. I think it's cool. It was a great story because, it was kind of crossing that barrier of a very old white man sport. And then you had this young, handsome, mixed race phenom come in and dominate. And that was an amazing story for so long until, the guy had the fallout and kind of got humbled, knocked to earth, and now he
lost his mojo, baby.
Yep.
Yeah. By the way, when's a new Mike Myers movie going to come out for Austin Powers? That last Austin Powers 3, 20 years ago, was freaking hilarious. I would love to see a third one.
Like the
reboot the franchise, bring it out. Yes, it was so good with all the superstars. Remember Danny DeVito and Tom Hanks were in the opening movie. And they were playing all the characters. Oh, God, it was so funny. I love seeing that in the theater.
It's been some good stuff. I think he's kind of hard to work with. He's kind of a prima donna.
Unlike the rest of Hollywood.
Right, exactly.
Okay. But, so maybe,
they did some good stuff. Because, he's working with Dana Carvey. It was tough having them with the Wayne's World stuff. I guess when he would write the material. Yeah, it's kind of one-sided. He's a different camper. He's a brilliant comedian. Did a lot of good stuff.
Oh, to bring it full circle, how about this? Remember when he was on stage with Kanye West? President Trump or George Bush does not care about black people. And Mike Myers is there like, all right. He had to move along. You remember that, the award show?
Been a while.
Anyway, you should check it out. But anyway, this is something. This segment, let's call this one "Make America Golf Again," because that was one of the biggest things that happened when Tiger Woods came onto the scene. You had a lot of youngsters and a lot of urban youth wanting to play sports, wanting to play golf in particular. That's not a urban thing because it's pretty expensive. It's the cost of entry. Cost of entry to play baseball is like a glove, a baseball, a bat, some cleats. You don't need the cleats. You can borrow somebody's bat. You can borrow somebody's glove. You can borrow somebody's ball. But you can't really do that with golf. It's expensive to get in. It's expensive to get the equipment. It's it's tough to suck at it.
And how much does it cost to go up for a round? Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's one of the reasons I didn't get into it. I just thought it was too expensive, and you got to hang out with these club guys, and it's a lot of it's just too.
The cost of entry was a lot. So when Tiger Woods came in, you got a lot of youth pumping money into the golf market. So I want to title this segment
"Make Merchandise." Yeah. So a lot of Nike golf shirts.
Mm-hmm.
You used to wear those. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I want to title this segment "Make America Golf Again." Make America golf again. Make America great again. Donald Trump, because here's what happened. This is from Yahoo Sports. It was only a matter of time before noted golf obsessive President Donald Trump publicly that's a weirdly, there should be a comma in there. Sorry, I can't not proofread. So it was only a matter of time before noted golf obsessive President Donald Trump publicly congratulated Tiger Woods for his comeback Masters win on Sunday. He got around to it on Monday afternoon, but it was a lot more than just a run-of-the-mill, "Great job, champ" tweet. Along with his congrats, Trump tweeted that he will be giving Woods the Presidential Medal of Freedom for his incredible success and comeback in sports, golf, and more importantly, life. President Trump tweeted, spoke to @TigerWoods to congratulate him on the great victory he had in yesterday's Masters, and to inform him that because of his incredible success and comeback in sports, golf, and most importantly, life, I'll be presenting him with the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Only 3 golfers have ever been awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom: Arnold Palmer, Jack Nicklaus, and Charles Sifford. George W. Bush gave it to Palmer in 2004 and Nicklaus in 2005. Obama gave it to Sifford in 2014. Palmer received his award in the mid-'70s, Nicklaus in the mid-'60s. Both are widely considered to be 2 of the greatest golfers of all time, blah, 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 blah. That's pretty cool. President Trump, he's a golfer. He owns golf courses. It's one of the things. It's one of the things that a lot of the presidents do. It's a lot of things big executives do. You do a board meeting while playing golf. You have some drinks, you ride around, you swing some sticks, and you talk some business. You cut some deals. Like, it's a better environment than a stuffy boardroom. So I think it's cool. It's a great story. This picture, Trump with Woods here. This is from a 2014 thing in Doral, Florida, the Trump National Doral Golf Course. I just think it's awesome. I think there's nothing better in life, and Joe Rogan has a nice clip on this. It's on YouTube somewhere, but about if you want to take control of your life, think of yourself as all those movies that you've seen. The guy down in the gutter. It's like everything's the worst in life. His body's a wreck. His love life's a wreck. His finances are a wreck. Okay. Well, today is the first day of the rest of your life, and this is the day that you are the main character of your comeback story. Start your comeback story. This is Rocky, and you are Rocky. Go. Just no excuses. You're at your worst. You're Tiger Woods. Your marriage is falling apart. Your back is falling apart. Your public sentiment and all your sponsors are falling apart. Your confidence is falling apart. All the things. Keep working. You got this. Keep going. Keep going. Come on. You got to come back in you. I could have been a contender. I could have done it. I could have been a contender. You can. And this is a great story. It's a great comeback. I don't care if you're a big golfer or not, a big golf fan or not. I don't care if you're a Tiger Woods fan or not. I don't care if you're a fan of people who are, notoriously unfaithful in their romantic endeavors or not. This is just a great life story about a guy who had been off track pretty severely, getting on track and doing the greatest thing. This was so cool. I think it's great. Make America golf again. This is just a perfect example of why Trump's America is not what the media wants you to think it is. people love people, man. People are rooting for the underdogs. People are rooting for everybody to succeed. The barrier to
tear
entry.
you down and build you back up.
Yeah, that's the media way. So just don't get too divided. Don't get too divisive. Don't allow yourself to be wrapped up into too much hate. Just enjoy this story. This is a great, great story. So we're going to wrap this up. We're going to spin this over to our final story. This is something I don't like at all. This is regarding my new wide receiver, Odell Beckham Jr. I'm a Cleveland Browns fan for life. Dog pound, baby. Hey, man.
All right.
Since the day I can, every moment I can remember, I've been rooting for the Cleveland Browns. But yeah, this is another story. This is like the opposite of the awesome stuff that we're seeing with Tiger Woods. Or maybe we just end here. That's a nice way to end it.
Okay, I'm down with that.
Should we do that?
Okay.
Well, let me do. Here's what
a
I'll do.
happy note, and we'll do that in happy hour. Or yeah.
Let me do this. I'm going to work the OBJ thing into this story. And spin it back to why I like this story so much. Odell Beckham, let me pull up the Instagram. I should have had this ready. Sorry, guys. OBJ, Instagram. Ooh, Instagram model. Who's that?
Who was that?
So
Still up.
here's Browns quarterback,
Yes,
Browns wide receiver, rather, Odell Beckham Jr. He says, them people highest up got the lowest self-esteem. ... Not me. And he's got one arm behind his back and one arm up.
Did he graduate? Or did he go to LSU?
LSU, yeah, with Jarvis Landry. And they were also they're best friends, or really good friends in high school, and then they're best friends in college, and now they're playing back on the Browns. Like, it's an awesome story.
Mm-hmm.
And they have their old coach, their wide receivers coach from LSU, the Browns wide receivers coach. It's just like a perfect reunion. So I'm trying to feel out this Odell Beckham Jr. thing because the Browns traded for him, but the Browns and John Dorsey also traded for Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt with character issues. He had been involved in reportedly no less than 3 altercations, extracurricular activities, violent altercations, perhaps all involving alcohol, and one famously recorded in a hotel hallway where he pushed a couple of people and they bounced off of each other, and he took a few steps and was going to boot somebody in the face, this girl, and then he kind of like paused and still gave her a light kick, which is not a good look, and it's a bad day. And he was suspended for 6 games, 8 games? I'm forgetting now, but he was suspended for about half the season, 8 games maybe.
Pretty serious.
And so our GM, the Cleveland Browns GM, John Dorsey, signing people with character issues because he's a football first guy. Just go out on the field and do the football thing. And Odell Beckham Jr. is hands down perhaps the best wide receiver in all of football. Saying so because Megatron has retired, because Julio Jones is in the twilight of his career, because AJ Green is aging, because Antonio Brown is a head case and he's 31 years old, 33 years old, something like that. He's in the tail end of his productive years. This guy's 26, so he's at the prime, the peak. Nobody is this guy. He's like a mega superstar. So yeah, the comments here, this one guy saying, you just got an unfollow. And that's kind of how I'm feeling about this, because this whole Kaepernick thing, the point of this is he's poolside, one arm behind his back and one arm up like this. I don't know if it's in a full black power fist, but it was referred to as a black power fist. Maybe, maybe not. But he's rocking the Kaepernick number 7 for some reason. And I'm not a Colin Kaepernick fan at all. Some stuff to say about that. There's nothing worse than the type of people like Michael Avenatti, like Jussie Smollett, and Colin Kaepernick that want to fake racial animosity for their own personal gain. I saw President Barack Obama stirring up race relations and stirring the pot and throwing rocks at the hornet's nest nonstop during his presidency. He could have been such a uniting force for all of the good in this country, but as a community organizer / agitator, that's how certain people have been indoctrinated, built, coached, trained, because if you say some stuff enough times, you can extort money out of them. What was the Michael Avenatti story? Because there's a Nike connection to it with Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis Landry being Nike people. We're working in the Tiger Woods and Colin Kaepernick being the face of Nike now.
Close.
So Avenatti got in trouble doing what?
Yeah, trying to extort money from Nike.
And he's the porn lawyer that was trying to support, trying to prop up Stormy
issues.
Daniels.
Yeah, he's looking at 50 years or something.
He's facing the potential over 300 years in prison. He's
That's
the one
just
that propped up
yeah.
Stormy Daniels to try to take down President Trump's, he'd take down his presidency. He's the one, a disabled, paraplegic, mentally ill man. He was hiding the jury winnings, the jury findings, the judge, the award for that patient. He was trying to steal it, and then he was trying to shake down Nike for $25 million.
Yeah, he's allegedly with an accomplice, another super lawyer, Garagos, who was represented Kaepernick.
Yeah, so Garagos represented Kaepernick, and Kaepernick sued the NFL, saying, "You guys colluded against me because I took a stand for racial justice." No, it's because you're a divisive character. You're aging 30-year-old running quarterback in a system in an NFL league that has gone away from the running quarterback. And trust me, Lamar Jackson's days are
they don't usually have long careers.
No, they don't. Especially 30-year-old guys with $25 million on your contract. And don't forget something. Colin Kaepernick walked away from an existing deal over $20 million. He opted out of his own contract. He wasn't worth it at the time. He should have kept his 1 year and rolled with it. But they fired Shanahan. They were going in a different direction. The writing was on the wall. So he started doing his stunts the year before, wearing pig cop socks, and wearing Fidel Castro shirts, and just all sorts of stunts. And it was almost like a telegraphed thing. It was almost like Jussie Smollett could play him in a Hallmark adaptation of this movie. You know, how to shake down the NFL for, some sort of settlement, some hush money. It just reeks of like a ginned up, phony racial BS story. I don't like it at all. I don't like that Odell Beckham's bringing this back up at all.
It's terrible. It's not a good image. Yeah, he put it up yesterday and hasn't taken it down. I don't know what possessed him to do that. He's to make that statement. No, I wouldn't want that. That was the risk of getting a guy with his immense talent, but also potential baggage, and hopefully he's not a loose cannon. But he needs a PR team or something.
Hey, a couple of comments. OBJ, Cleveland will love and support you, but please know that we stand for our national anthem here. This other comment: Black power, white power, both are racist. Trump 2020 quote. Max saying, I accidentally unfollowed you yesterday. LOL. The jersey is disgusting. He chose the wrong thing to protest. So I mean, there's blowback here of a,
I don't care if he likes Kaepernick, but don't go on Instagram with your Kaepernick jersey. It's divisive.
And you know what? I railed against when Isaiah Crowell put out an Instagram post showing it was like an ISIS-inspired decapitation of a police officer just days before there were like 5 cops assassinated in downtown Dallas at a Black Lives Matter thing, and it's like, I didn't like when that Browns player did that. Call a spade. Call, I call LeBron out for, what he's trying to do for certain issues when I disagree with him on policy. I can't stand his leftist politics, but I ride or die with my jersey. I root for the name on the front, not the name on the back. If you wear orange and brown, you matter. If you don't wear orange and brown, you don't matter. To quote Freddie Kitchens, our new head coach. But yeah, Colin Kaepernick was also offered a job by the Ravens. Ray Lewis was in that front office working to get you a gig, and his girlfriend put in a social media post out there comparing the Ravens front office and Ray Lewis to Django Unchained, to the slave and to the master. Once again, back to the master and all these white people cheering for Tiger Woods. It's like color doesn't matter. It's content of your character. And a lot of the country sees Kaepernick as a shakedown artist, is a guy who, thought he was worth $30 million. So he opted out of a $20 million, $22 million, whatever his last contract was, didn't get hired. And he just blamed it on racism. Well, no, you're a divisive character. You're a jerk. And you're a running quarterback in a league that doesn't really do that now. Like, healthy quarterbacks run to get away from stuff, and then they get rid of the ball fast. They don't run the pistol offense anymore. That's why Harbaugh bounced from the 49ers and took off to college again, because that's where that crap plays. So,
they got Lamar Jackson now.
Yeah, trust me, we're going to smoke Lamar Jackson. That guy ain't going to it's coming. We've seen this show before. RG3, Mike Vick. Yeah, you might have short bursts of glory, but it doesn't continue.
Cunningham. Yeah. Dante Culpepper.
So, I just want to compare and contrast how Odell Beckham Jr., you got it wrong, man. People in Cleveland, like me, this could be split as a separate segment. Me talking to Odell Beckham Jr. A minute here. Hello, Odell Beckham Jr. My name's Brian Engelman, host of The Unhappy Hour. I just want to say that I took a look at your post with Colin Kaepernick wearing the jersey. I don't know if this is a black power fist or not, but as the comments in here say, like black power, white power, like don't do either of those. Those are both racist. They're bad. Cleveland fan, ride or die. From the minute I can remember rooting for sports, I've been a Cleveland Browns fan. I'm never going to bail on that allegiance. I was at the Perfect Season Parade, did a documentary on it called Football Equals Family. Look it up. I'm rooting for you to just go bonkers. Video game numbers, Madden numbers with Baker Mayfield. That guy can put any pass anywhere. Ride with him and your numbers are going to be through the roof and we're going to win a lot of games, hopefully Super Bowls, plural. But this Colin Kaepernick thing, I think you got it wrong, man. It's not either you like and support Colin Kaepernick or you're a racist, awful human. There are many people like me who are wanting to root for you because you wear brown and orange. We're wanting to root for civil rights for all humans, especially for all Americans who are here that are playing for our same team, wearing our jersey. But there's a lot of us that think kneeling for the anthem is disrespectful Bush League bullshit. Period. People like me who also think that Colin Kaepernick had plenty of chances, be it the Denver Broncos, the Baltimore Ravens, staying with the 49ers on his contract and let them be the one that cut him. Plenty of reasons why we're not going to support Colin Kaepernick, and we don't think that he was blackballed by the NFL. We think that this is a professional shakedown, and we think it's garbage, and that time during the national anthem is a moment for self-reflection, not a time to take a knee and say, hey, everybody, look at me, I'm doing something different, and turning it into a fiasco. So, bro, I'm wishing you the best, a long, healthy, happy career, multiple Super Bowls in Cleveland, but we're not riding with this thing. We're not a fan of this stuff. Speaking for me and other people that agree with this, we stand for the anthem in Cleveland. We show a little bit of respect. We take a second. That's our time to reflect on our freedoms. It's not for Colin Kaepernick to whine about why he's not getting paid. That's garbage. And to cloak yourself and shield yourself, just like Jussie Smollett in a fake situation to drum up sympathy. Come on, man. We see through that BS. We see through it, and we don't like it. So welcome to Cleveland. But this, big fail, big thumbs down. And I'd be curious to find out, is that a black power fist or are you just yawning? I don't know, man. I'm rooting for you, but that's my take. So welcome to Cleveland. Go Browns.
Yeah, I mean, no, it would have been great for you guys if he would have come out with a Browns jersey, either with his name or Mayfield maybe. I don't know why you would want to put the Kaepernick stuff on. But I hope you guys don't get stuck with another one of these prima donna receivers. Got Keyshawn Johnson or Ocho Cinco from Cincinnati, or Terrell Owens. I don't know. It seems to there's always a few. There we go. He's got one on his Instagram. But yeah.
Anyway,
so
that's my thoughts on that.
This meeting with the PR team, and maybe he doesn't have to remove it, but maybe going forward, I don't know, because he seems to thrive on the controversy. So.
Yeah, so not a big fan of that, but just to contrast that, Odell Beckham. Oh, maybe I should. Oh, edit this one part.
Immature young man, lots of money, does what he wants, and maybe isn't putting too much thought into it.
Okay, I'm gonna write down the 122.
Oh my God, are we at 122?
Yeah, and then we're done. Yeah, no, go figure. We're getting done. So 122, I want you to add this one part. This is how I end up that.
I thought you're doing the production on this one, Brian. You're doing the post-production? You're making the clips on this one?
No.
Got homework assignments that were dishing out on me?
No, I don't want to.
122 is the 25 minutes.
Yeah, so this would be the last thing. On the Odell Beckham rant, I just want to wrap it up with this. This is the hard cut to this part right here. So, Odell Beckham Jr., I want you to just take a look at what happened this past weekend at the Masters, a place that college professors will say is a microaggression to slaves and masters. A bunch of white people in the audience, rich white people. You kind of have to pay a lot and know people and have connections to be in the audience at the Masters, cheering in an unprecedented manner for the comeback story of one Eldrick Tiger Woods to win the Masters. chanting Tiger, 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 actively rooting against his competitors to root him on, a half black, half Asian man to win the Masters in Trump's white America, in Trump's racist America. America is an awesome place. If you've been believing what the media has been trying to tell you and what the Democratic Party's been trying to tell you, I apologize. I'm sorry that you're buying it, but the country isn't representative of these fairy tales. I think, and I might be wrong, but I don't think I am. I think America is more like white people rooting for black people to do well, because we're kind of all supposed to be rooting for everyone to do well. So compare that. I think that's the world. That's the sports universe that exists. And I think some of us can think that Kaepernick's a jerk for taking a knee during the national anthem, because it's not about him. That's not a time to take focus and attention off of our freedoms and liberties and how important and sacred they are. We didn't like that as a PR stunt. We didn't like the cop pig socks. We didn't like the Castro shirts. We didn't like the stunts. And it felt like a shakedown from the beginning when he turned down offers to the Broncos and the Ravens. So maybe Odell Beckham Jr., maybe, just maybe, we can let that Colin Kaepernick thing go and agree that we want equality and freedom and good policing and body cameras. And there's things we can actually agree on while keeping Colin Kaepernick's divisive ass out of it. So thank you and welcome to Cleveland. That's how I wanted to end that rant. But if I would have had enough time pre-production, I would have done it that way. But I digress. Thank you for watching. Appreciate all of you guys. Blake, any final words today? Like, did we fail epically, or did we get a good show in with a bunch of different topics?
I think we went off way out of the bounds with the time. But
yes, we did.
I think we do have, maybe we can get a few segments out of that. That'll be delightful.
Delightful. Okay, so signing off from everybody here at the TNAM Network. My name is Brian Engelman.
I'm Blake Wally.
And we appreciate you watching. Subscribe, do all the things. Instagram.com/TheNewAmericanMedia. It's awesome. Find us on Patreon. Help us there. Subscribe, YouTube.com/TheNewAmericanMedia. Notifications and subscriptions. Click that. Watch our 8 years of content. We got a whole bunch of stuff. We're doing a garden. It's called The Backyard. I renamed it, by the way. The Backyard, episode 1 was the little pilot we put together. Growing things, harvesting things, cooking things, fixing things. Stuff you do in your backyard. You hang out with your friends. You eat some food. You drink. You grow some food. You repair some stuff in the garage. I'm breaking out tennis rackets and baseball mitts and just fixing up all the gear that's there. Stuff that people normally do. So it's a new series coming out called The Backyard. We're on episode 3, and I've sketched out 9 episodes. We're going to be doing gardening and all sorts of things. We do politics, we do sports, we do humor, we do all sorts of stuff. So check it out. Hopefully there's some good interviews over the years that you'll enjoy. To be continued. We'll do this again soon. Appreciate you. Love you. Talk to you again soon. Peace. And scene.